When it's time to move your freight, Load Up Transportation should be top of mind. We've done multiple things here to change trucking, and you will notice the first time you contact Load Up Transportation. There is nothing more important than your freight getting from point A to point B safe and on time. Track the driver and your freight in real time. We're also expecting new shippers. You've tried the rest, and now it's time to try the best. Load Up Transportation. It's simply the smart choice. We're looking forward to earning your business one load at a time. So reach out today.
What's going on, YouTube? If you're coming back to the channel, welcome back to the crib, big baby. As always, it's good to see you. Hopefully you're doing well. If this is your first time visiting our channel, first and foremost, thank you for stopping by. We certainly appreciate that support. My name is Kenny. It is nice to meet you and certainly good to see you as well. While you are here, let's take care of some business. Hit that subscribe button and, of course, the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when we've got some content for your eyes and ears only. But welcome. And, of course, that will continue to help support the channel. I have what my grandmother used to say back in the day, a good'un today. I have a very special guest. But before we get into that, I think the last video I did was before Thanksgiving. So hopefully everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Had a chance to eat some good food and spend some time with family and friends, reflecting all that good stuff. And now we're trying to move into Christmas and hopefully transition into a better year in 2022. So on the screen, you see that beautiful lady right there. This is a very good friend of mine, my mentor and my teacher. And she has been in the trucking industry over a decade, if not longer. She's got multiple trucks. She's got a dispatching company. She teaches as well. And I mean, her resume is just long. It never stops. And so it is a pleasure to finally be able to get her on the channel to talk a little bit more about the trucking business for those who are still doing some researching, contemplating on getting in the business. What is the proper way to start the business, whether that's box truck, whether that's semi tractor trailer. She can speak to all of that. What is the lanes looking like now? If you have a spouse that may want to come in with you as well, but maybe want to be on the dispatching side, she can talk to that, talk about some of the courses that she offered to get you guys prepared the right way. You know, I often say I was educated by educators, and this is a educator here. If you're looking to get your CDL, she can tell you what to expect in that lane and maybe how down the line she can help you in that area as well. So, woo, I'm out of breath now. So let me just introduce Miss Elana. And Elana always get on me because I always mess up her last name. Say it for me again, Elana.
It is Kangethe. If you're of Kenyan origin, it's Kangethe is to pronounce the correct name. Yeah, but Kangethe.
And yet, I love the name. I love the name. So how you been?
I'm good. How are you, Kenny?
I'm doing good. Thank you for coming on the channel. I always get people saying we need to have more guests on the channel. They get tired of looking and hearing from me. So it's good to have another voice and face on the channel.
Well, thank you.
So the first thing I want to talk about, and I've got a lot of emails about, is it a good time to start a trucking company? You know, at one point, I want to say we're coming out of this pandemic, but then again, it looked like we're going back into this pandemic, if you will. And we certainly want to say, keep those who've been affected in our thoughts and our prayers. But is it a good time now to come into, was the trucking industry affected by the pandemic?
So first of all, thank you for bringing me on your show. I'm very humbled with the accolades and everything. It just brought my nervous level up like 200%. But this is just my opinion. I'm not the Bible of trucking or anything like that. I've been in the industry since 2008, and I've never, ever, ever seen rates as good as they are right now. Definitely not a component for Corona, and none of us want to see COVID here or anything like that. When Corona first hit, the whole pandemic, COVID and everything, when it first hit, the very first 2 weeks, it was horrible. Rates dropped really low. Guys were closing their trucking companies and everything, because I've been in trucking for so long. People were asking me, and I'm like, it's just like the economy. Whatever goes up has to come down. Whatever that goes down has to come up. Sit it through. 2 weeks later, rates went out the sky. And when I say out the sky, like it's still consistent. A lot of trucking is seasonal. You know, you have your high season and your low season. And even in the low season, the rates have still been good. I'm fortunate. I have relationships and friends all over the world in trucking, and it feels so good to call my guys in California or New York, and they're like, "Oh, Elana, everybody's eating. We feel good. This and that. I got this many trucks. I got this contract and this and that." And so it has been good in the trucking industry. Your question is like the $1 million question everyone asks me. And in my opinion, I think that it's going to stay up. I think the rates are not going to be dropping anytime soon. If you look at the whole port issue going on right now with the containers and the containers being backed up, and as a consumer you may have ordered furniture or something and it's taken 2 or 3 months to get to you.
Right.
The whole port thing, it's basically, it's not they're not coming in, it's like a big bottleneck, you know. And so the thing is, when that freight gets in there, it's been sitting on the ocean for so long that they're not going to be like, well, I'm not paying that money to get the truck to move. The truck is the least amount of their worries. They just want the freight to them now. It hit the port, it went through agriculture, now I just need it here. So nobody's going to be cheaping around on freight because they need it here. And it's so many containers stuck, and they're trying to figure out where to take these containers to, what port to bring them into. Remember, 80% of America's freight moves on the truck. So even if it's coming in on those ports, at some point it's going to have to get inland, and all those things. Even if your trucks never touch the port, you don't do any of that, it drives the rate of the market up. So in my opinion, we have these rates are going to be here for a minute. I don't know how long. So you just got to get it while it's here. But until a lot of that stuff gets straightened out, we're going to be okay in trucking. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion.
Well, and the other side of it, and even if, and I agree, I think now is a great time to come in. But the problem that some people are seeing is, how do you get equipment? It's a seller's market.
Yes, definitely. I was telling you, Kenny, that I bought a truck in February of this year for $23,000 cash, 2016 Freightliner. It didn't even have 600,000 miles on it or whatever. Good truck, very, very good truck. The year before, that same truck went for like 17,000. I know, because it's the same guy, you know, that sells them. Right now, that truck is going for like $50,000, $60,000. Wow. Now, this is the thing with the equipment. New equipment is hard to find because we got that whole chip thing going on. And so a lot of your new trucks aren't being made. So you pretty much are going to have to go to used. The price of the trucks are expensive right now. And, you know, it's bittersweet to me because I feel like we're making money. And so because we're making money, of course, the guys that sell the trucks and sell the trailers, they see we're making money, and now they can get in on it. And I have friends all over this industry. So I have guys that sell trucks and sell trailers, and they're excited because they're making money. You know, one of my trailers I bought for like $8,000 when I bought that trailer in February. I sold it back to one of my friends who sold me the trailer. I sold it back to him for $16,000. So everybody is kind of making money. So it's bittersweet, but yeah. And people ask me, well, is it a good time to buy a truck? It's kind of a personal preference. Nobody knows when the rates are going to drop. And the trucks aren't going to go cheaper until the rates drop. I don't want the rates to drop. Anybody got a truck don't want the rates to drop. So it's kind of like, it's up to you. It's your decision, you know. If it's your first truck, you know, it's your choice if you want to sit on the sidelines and wait for the rates on that truck to drop. When the rates on the truck drop, our industry probably isn't going to be hot like it's hot right now. You know what I'm saying? If you already have multiple trucks, it might not be the best time. But at the same time, you got contracts coming in and the truck's making money. So it's kind of like up to you. You know, if you're a new truck owner Like I mean, if you want to wait a year or 2 years for it to drop down, but it's just all relative. So it's kind of like a choice and a decision you have to make for yourself. A lot of my clients, they're like, I don't care, Elana, I want to get in on it. And I'm like, you know, you're paying this amount of money for this truck. They're like, I don't care, I want to get in on it. They get in on it and the truck starts making money. So that's just it.
Yeah. What are you seeing it also being difficult for those who are considering maybe renting a truck? Is it the same process? I know it's pretty expensive to do that.
So let me say you got your tractor and you have your trailer. We have a huge trailer issue right now. You can't hardly find a trailer to rent right now. So trailers, you know, are kind of scarce right now. You can find them, but it's just a little scarce, and you need a trailer. Really, you can do power only, but you need a trailer. As far as renting a tractor, it's expensive, but it's definitely an option. You know, if you want to get in there, I'm just gonna say this, Kenny: the truck is gonna make money,
Okay.
even if you pay over the amount. And I mean, that's just you're gonna be paying over the amount. That's just it, you know. But the truck is gonna make money. If you want to get in, get in. If you don't, don't. But that truck is gonna make money, whether you rent or not. On the rental process, I know they charge large down payments.
Okay.
And they have because one of my customers was actually looking at rental not too long ago. The down payment is like they charge a lot down to rent a truck, and the qualifications and things like that. But I say, look at both. You know, you got leasing, you got purchasing, you got rent. It's a lot of different ways if you're wanting to get a truck that you can get it. They have people that do no credit check, bad credit. You know, if you got the money to come in for a down payment or a purchase, you can get a truck.
What is the average rate per mile you seeing now?
Right now, it depends on the lane. It depends on what lane you're running. You know, my trucking company is in the Midwest, and we manage other companies for clients. So we do a lot of Midwest and South region. We're seeing about $3-4 a mile. California right now is seeing about $5-6 a mile. So
Going
anywhere
in or coming out or both?
coming out of California right now is
Wow.
going for like $5-6 a mile. Local California is going like a 300-mile run right now, and California is paying like $2,000, $1,800 to $2,000.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, like for me, if I were to go into California, going into California is paying like $3,000 from Missouri to California. Coming out of California back to Missouri is paying like $6,000. Awesome rates, like rates we haven't seen in a long time, you know. So I would say right now, average in the industry is $3-4 a mile. And depending on where you go, like that Oregon area, that California area, you know, those guys are like getting $5-6 right now. I'll say about $5 a mile.
Wow. And so the fuel has not affected them as much.
Well, fuel is going up just like everybody. Everybody sees that the truck's making money. So
Right.
everybody has their hand in the truck pocket. And this has been a long time coming. So fuel is definitely up. I used to spend $300 a week for one truck, or not a week, $300 a day for one truck on fuel. You figure he's running about 600 miles, about $300 a day. Now I spend about $400 a day on fuel.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
And
So
certain areas, like you go to I don't even touch California. You go to California, your fuel is way high. You know, it's way more expensive than the areas we go.
and that was one of my next question is, what would you consider the best lane? It's a
Oh
tough
my
one.
God. I don't want your people throwing tomatoes at me.
Okay. Well, let me do it. Let me do it this way. Where have you seen for your company the best lanes? Is that the mid east, Midwest?
For me, everybody is different. You know,
Okay.
everybody runs their truck different. So I don't want to say, and then a guy gets on here, because trucking people can be mean. A guy gets on here like, oh no, I go this way and I go that, you know.
Let me
But
throw it at you a different way. Let me throw it at you a different way. How should somebody figure out what it costs to run their truck?
what it costs to run their truck.
Right.
Okay, so you need to, number one, if you're making payments on that truck, you take whatever your payments are divided by 20 days, because there's 20
Right.
business days in a month. You take your insurance divided by 20 days, because it's 20 days in a month. You take your fuel. You figure every truck is different. You have to know how much fuel your truck takes, just for an estimate. Like when I do training, I tell people we usually say 50 cents a mile for fuel. That's just a rough estimate, but you can get your fuel consumption. You should know your fuel consumption if you have your truck, but 50 cents a mile, that's probably, like I said, right now, $400 a day on fuel. And this is semi trucks. Of course, smaller trucks are going to be different figures. So you take your fuel, you take your driver pay, however much you're paying your driver. If you're paying him week, divide it out so you can see how much it is per day. And that formula you use right there, you add those figures up daily, and that tells you how much your truck needs to make per day to stay alive. Also, if you got percentages, if you have staff percentages, you got to pay whatever those expenses are. You figure that's the bare minimum that truck needs to bring in that day to stay alive. So you need to bring in more than that. You know what I mean? You need to be bringing in more money than that, but that's your bare minimum of what you need to bring in.
See, YouTube, I told you you're going to drop the sauce. So that was, and I was trying to kind of go in a roundabout way to get to, what you should be, right, the lanes and what lanes, and I think most truckers, when they get out there, they'll figure out quickly what lanes that they're finding success in. If you're going in a certain area, you made a lot of money going in. For example, I don't know if this is true. It's been a while in Atlanta since I've been out there, but like out here, there's freight all the time, pretty decent rates going into Florida, but it's tough getting out of Florida with decent rates.
Yes.
Is that accurate? Is that what you've seen?
That's accurate. There are certain areas I do not take my truck. And when I get new dispatchers in the office, it's just, when you're a new dispatcher, it even happened to me. You see 5,000, you see 4,000, you see 6,000, your eyes pop at those big numbers.
Right.
But you have to research, if I'm taking my truck in here, what are the rates coming out? And when I take him out, where am I going to take him into? And am I going to take him into an area that has a good rate? And planning like that, you have to be able to research. You don't just jump at the money, because I might get $4,000 coming into Florida, but then I get into Florida, especially Miami area, it's no freight there, or I'm getting $1 a mile to come out. So I'm taking a whole day of the week to make $900 because I don't want to dead here at him too far. I don't want to send him 2,000 miles for $2,000. So I'm probably going to cut him up to Atlanta. So now I made $600 just to go to Atlanta for a day. And now Atlanta's rate's not all that good. I got to get out of Atlanta and get into the land of some type of living where I can get some money. So I would just say, wherever you move your truck, just make sure whoever's dispatching your truck, if you go into an area, make sure, do a little bit of research, make sure, am I going to be able to get out? And is it good money coming out? And if I do go in there and it's dry, what we call dry, where I'm not going to make good money coming out, am I making enough going in where it makes sense?
Well, and you transitioned for me, Elana, when you said that, when you started talking about the dispatcher. So if you're signing up with a dispatcher, what, obviously the expectation is for them to get you freight, but they should know where to send you and where not to send you, because if they're sending you in somewhere, hey, here's a good rate, you're going to make a lot of money going, but they should already be looking on how they're going to get you out of there. Yes,
definitely. Your dispatcher is your moneymaker. Your dispatcher's job, the dispatcher's job is to track the load, track you, communicate with the broker. But at the end of the day, as a dispatcher, your job is to make money. I tell people that go through dispatching training, or my dispatchers in my office, if that truck's not making money, it's 3 reasons. Number one, it's an issue with the truck. The truck was broke down, had a flat tire or something, you know, nothing anybody could do about it. Number two, it's a driver issue. Driver quit, driver's not on time, issues going on with the driver. It's going to stop the truck from making money. Number three, it's the dispatcher. You're not booking it right. You taking them in somewhere and they're not able to get out. The rate's not good out or whatever, or your timing. You're making timing crazy. You're not doing good on your timing, you know, or you're sending them in the warehouses where they're having to wait 8 hours to get loaded or 9 hours to get loaded. And that stuff can mess up your week. So those are, your dispatcher is very important part of the business.
When you're vetting a dispatcher, what should that process look like?
When you're vetting a dispatcher, number one, I believe in, I don't believe in, I'm just going to do a load for you now, and then you're going, and next time you're in the area, you're going to call me. If I dispatch for you, we're in a relationship. It's not no one night here and there. We're in a relationship. We're building this thing, and we're going to build it together. Okay. And my role is to make sure you're making money. And number one, what is your objective? You know, when you're vetting a dispatcher, the dispatcher should be asking you questions more than you're asking your dispatcher. That's number one. They should want to know, where do you want your truck to go to? How much money are you looking at making a week realistically? Are you going to be driving the truck? Do you have a driver? What areas do you not want to go to? What areas should I not touch? You know, that dispatcher should really be asking you the questions. And then if you flip it, you know, you let them know what it is that you want done. And vetting them would be, you know, I don't even know if I would ask how many people have you dispatched before, because that just really doesn't even matter. They could have dispatched so many people, but are they bringing in the money? You know, things like that. You know, what lanes are they running? You know, what are their plans to make sure, you know, you are successful? Just that bottom line question. What are your plans to make sure I'm successful? What are you going to do to make sure I'm successful? You know, and that's what I would say.
Are you guys taking on any new carriers?
So I'm really picky. Usually I don't like to take on new carriers unless I start their trucking company with them.
Okay.
I like to take you from the beginning, from the conception all the way up, because I don't like drama. I don't like issues. I don't like problems. If my company is managing or dispatching your company, it's so important that you trust us and you don't think that we're trying to get over on you. We're trying to money this and that, you know, where when it's a new client, they're just now starting out getting their truck and they come to me and we open their trucking company and I'm mentoring and coaching them. That trust has been built. So when they get that truck and they get on the road, they already know, oh, EK Management's going to make sure I'm straight. Where just somebody off the street that's like, well, I heard you could get me loads and this and that, you know, they spend 20 minutes questioning my dispatchers about a load, going back and forth with them. And it's like, oh my God, are you serious? What I will say, Mr. Kenny, is anybody who contacts me, I have a team of dispatchers that I've trained and that have open dispatching companies and that do really, really good. And they're under my umbrella. And so I definitely refer them out, and they're in my continued training under my umbrella and things like that. So I'll make sure you're taken care of. But as far as my company dispatching you, it would definitely have to be an exception to the rule, or you're just now getting started. You just got your truck, you kind of new in the industry, then that's my preferred client.
And you know, everything I'm doing is transitioning, because, you know, at the beginning, we say we're going to talk about those who are looking to actually start their trucking company. And what if they got with you and you were helping them through that process, what would that look like?
So number one, my mentor, he calls me Truck Mama because
I saw that on your YouTube page.
Yeah. I don't have any children. So like this whole trucking thing is my baby. And so when they come in my office, I sit down and I go with them A through Z, what we do. Number one, We get their MC number, their DOT number, their authority. We make sure everything is set up correct and properly, so that when we're setting things up, we're setting it up with audit in mind. If the audit man comes, if you get audited, all of these things are in place, because people go online, set up their own trucking companies, their own brokerages, no big deal. But the thing is, there are underlying forms and underlying things that have to be done. And when you first put in for that DOT number, there are so many phone calls that bombard you, emails that bombard you, and you don't know what's scam, you don't know what's legit, you don't know what's not legit, you don't know what you need to file for, what you don't need to file for. And the phone calls are so intimidating, and they need a credit card number, they need it right now. So we're kind of like a one-stop shop. You come to us and you don't move, you don't do anything without contacting our office. We do it all. A phone call comes to you, you tell us about it, we'll tell you this is where you go for your insurance, this is where you go for your field cards, this is where you go for your factoring. You want to buy your truck, this is what type of truck you're looking for, this is how many miles you want. These are the different contacts I have in the truck industry. If you want to finance, if you want to lease, these are the differences. You know, you pick your own truck. I'm not going to tell you get this truck, don't get this truck, but I'm going to give you a roadmap. I have guys that do test driving. They'll go out and test drive the truck for you. You know, I have an awesome mechanic. You know, my customers, I'm always like, if you buy the truck on your own, you know, that's totally up to you. But I really want to be a part of the process. I want my mechanic to get on the phone, my driver manager get on the phone, make sure, you know. And so then it's a whole mentoring and coaching. And throughout the process, either you can take one of our training classes to learn how to dispatch that truck, learn how to do the back business office. You can put your girlfriend, your cousin, whoever through training. And then, you know, once we get the truck, our last process is getting it tagged, making sure you know all the things you need to do to make sure it's tagged, get ready and get set up for your IFTAs. And then from that point, everybody in the office has a celebration. That truck gets on the road. Either we manage it or you take your truck and you manage it yourself. And we're forever a home base for anything that happens. You can contact us, you can email us, you can call us. We just become like a family here.
So before I ask you to tell people how they can get in contact with you, what is some of the things that you've seen truckers do to get them in trouble, to get them in trouble? Whether and when I say in trouble, that could be two components. That can be from a financial standpoint, not running their business proper. It could be for compliance problems. What have you seen and how to avoid it?
Drivers or owners?
Oh, that's a good one. Let's go with drivers.
Okay, drivers.
But the drivers could be owner operator, but
drivers could be owner ops. Exactly. Number one, I'm just gonna say this: marijuana.
Oh my goodness,
is not acceptable in a tractor trailer. You might be able to smoke marijuana. Your state may have mandated it, but it's not federally mandated to cross lines and smoke it and have it in a tractor trailer.
So you mean to tell me there's somebody doing that sticky icky while they drive? I wasn't even thinking of that. I'm thinking of, you know, HOS violations, but they're doing that.
I know. Yeah.
Can they do it legally in Colorado? Not behind the wheel.
I don't know, but yeah, I had a driver one time and I got a phone call in the middle of the night. Yeah. So, you know, when you asked that question, you said trucker, I thought about driver and I just thought about that. Like, because he told the DOT officer it was legal anyway. But but no, as far as a owner of a company,
right?
Number one, that original setup is important, because when a DOT comes in and audits you, they look at the date on that paperwork. Like the DOT will send you a form and say, we're coming out for an audit in 2 weeks and this is what all we need. So what a lot of guys do, they'll call us, Miss Elana, I got an audit, I need this, I need that. And they don't have everything set up. So then we have to go in, set up their drug test, set up this, set up that. Well, the DOT looks at the date. You've been operating for 9 months and you never had this stuff done. You just got this paperwork. So you can get, in violation for that. You can get a tap on the wrist or whatever. So number one, definitely setting up right. Number two, an effective ELD, electronic log device. A good one that works, and making sure that your drivers are doing it. And that you as a company are keeping track of that, because ELD right now, they're being light on ELDs, but they're probably going to come back and get, more severe on it. Making sure you get the PMs, the preventive maintenance on those trucks. Yeah, we all want to make money. And I've been in that situation. You keep the truck out there, and you never get it serviced, or you don't get it serviced like it needs to. And when it breaks down, it can be very expensive. So bringing that truck home, and getting your PMs, even if you don't need a PM, a good mechanic in your hometown, a good semi truck mechanic in your hometown, that when that truck comes through can look it over. Keeping your driver happy. If you're not driving the truck, making sure your driver has home time. One thing I learned that has really helped so much in my driver retention is bringing my guys home every weekend. No matter where they're at, no matter what hit the truck takes, on Fridays, they're coming home. And they got Saturday and Sunday. They might have to leave out Sunday night to drop a load or early Monday morning, but they have that home time every weekend. And it makes for good drivers. Anyway, I could go on and on, but I think those are your very important things.
All right, last question.
Oh, last thing, money management. Manage the money right. Money management. Okay, go ahead.
That's what I was going to ask you about. If you're doing things right, first year, realistically, how much profit should you be able to make? I'm talking about a net number, not a gross to truck. If you're doing things properly, everything right, first year out, now you're learning, realistically, net for the calendar year.
It's hard to say. I'm serious.
Best
it's hard
case, worst case.
And I would need my calculator in front of me, but gross, that truck should be making about 250,000 gross.
Okay.
200 to 250. And then, subtract out your fuel. Fuel is probably used to run 1,000. Now it's running 15 to 2,000 a week. The reason why I say it's hard to say is because I don't know what maintenance struggles you dealt with in the year, and you might have one, like I have a truck now, we got to pay $5,000 in the morning to get out. Of course, if I was forecasting for this year, I wouldn't have had that on my paperwork, Another truck, I had to pay $4,500 last week to get out. I wouldn't have forecasted that. I had a truck that I was telling you about that turned over, and took a loss on that, and I wasn't forecasting that. So that's why I'm saying that is kind of hard, because in trucking, it's not black and white. Everything is gray. You never know what you're walking into. The only thing you can control is that gross, bringing in as much gross as possible, so that when the expenses do hit, you can cover them. The worst thing you can do if a truck breaks down, they say it's $4,000 to get fixed, is let that truck sit. Or call around trying to see who you can find cheaper. Get it fixed, get it back on the road. Get it fixed, get it back on the road. So again, going with net, I would say, a truck should be bringing in about, in this market, about 8,000 to 10,000 a week. So you take that, multiply that out, and then out of that, your expenses, which your fuel is going to be about $1,500 to $2,000 a week. Your driver, again, these are full trucks. Your driver, you want to pay your driver good. Your driver should be making about $1,500 a week. If he's running the miles, and the truck is bringing in the money, you figure out your insurance, the more your company grows, the more fleets that you add, the more trucks you add, the more expensive that insurance is going to get. Your truck payment coming out. So it's kind of hard to say what net is going to be because, of all the things. But I can say your gross numbers, that's how your gross numbers should look.
And you sparked another question. I swear this is the last one. Do you recommend companies letting other trucks run under their authority?
Do I recommend companies letting other trucks run under their authority? So, it's a relationship and trust thing again. Okay. Because the thing is, when they drive up under your authority, anything that happens in that truck is going to go under your authority and your number. You can make good money. You can make good money, somebody driving under your authority. However, if they do, you want to check out their driver just like it was your own driver. You want to pull their drug test just like it's your own driver. Anybody that runs under my authority, we dispatch them. Like I'm booking the loads. You come up under me, we're booking the loads. The reason why is because I want to control everything. I want to see the load that's being booked. I don't want any funny business going on where you got my paperwork and you sending somebody else something and you getting some money under the table. I don't know what's going on, but I know I don't want it going on under my watch. So, and that's just my paranoia in my brain. Everybody doesn't do that, of course, so I would say if you let somebody go up under your authority, make sure you trust them, and do your due diligence. Just like if that truck or that driver was your own company, make sure their cab cards are registered, make sure their insurance is right. Just make sure everything is right and everything is legit. Have a good owner operator agreement that says this is how much they're going to pay you. The money comes through you and then you pay them. Make sure you pay them. Just make sure you pay them. A lot of owner ops, that becomes the issue, is the person they're driving under them isn't paying them or taking more money than they're supposed to take. Make sure you do people right and treat people right with it.
I agree with that 100%. So if they want you to help them start their company, or maybe them or their spouse want to learn dispatching, how can they get in contact with you?
So our website is down right now. I'm under construction with the website for next year because we're going to be doing some different things. So right now, use my email address, ELA Enterprise KC at gmail.com. ELA Enterprise KC at gmail.com. Our office number is 816-313-5822. 816-313-5822. When you call in the office, just tell them, that you saw the video on Mr. Kenny's site and what you're looking for, what you're looking to do, and whoever answers the phone will kind of direct and guide you from there. I have a YouTube channel. It's Elana Kangethe, ELANA KANGETHE. And I also have a Facebook group page. It's called Empowering. Hold on, let me see.
And I'm going to put a link to all of this in the description below as well.
Oh, good. It's called, the Facebook is Trucking Empowerment Empires. And I do a lot of training and things like that on there.
Somebody told me, you got to verify and confirm this, that you're good at making money, but you love teaching.
It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. It is true. My best friend, she's always telling me that because she's always telling me that. She's like, Elana, that's your gifting. That's what you do. That's your anointing. That's where you're at. I love teaching. I love helping people in this industry, mentoring, coaching. And I just love to see the development, like I love when they start and then they come in the office and they're talking about IFTAs and they're talking about this and that. Or, I'm down there getting my truck fixed and I see them coming in with their truck and I'm like, because I remember when you started and you didn't know anything, and look at you now,
Yeah.
or calling me, Miss Lane, I'm ready to get another truck, and what to do. So I definitely love teaching. Yeah.
I can tell in that passion. What are some of the courses that you teach? I know you do the dispatching, you do freight brokering as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Freight brokering. We have an basic freight broker class, an advanced freight broker class. I have an independent dispatching class, and I have an advanced dispatching class. And then I do truck management, which teaches the back end, how to set up a trucking company. Basically, that course is designed for people to duplicate my company. So in that course, I teach what we do as a management company. So you go from being just a dispatcher to a complete management company. And I go through step by step what we do in our company and in our office and how you can go about setting a company up like that for yourself. And then I teach an owner operators class where it's designed for owner ops and making sure, running that truck and everything is what it's supposed to be on running the truck.
Now, YouTube, I'll let you in on that. I've taken two of those classes. I've taken the dispatcher and the broker. So I'm telling you, it's a great investment, and you will learn the right way. I used to always say I was educated by educators, and someone who really want to see you do well, has a passion for it. And when they put their name in on it, they're going to make sure you know what you're doing, and you'll always be able to pick up the phone once you're in that family and be able to call and say, "Hey, Miss Elana, I got a question. Did I do this right?" And so I think that's good. You're as good as your team. And so this young lady can definitely help you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, I don't think I have anything else. Again, I'm going to get all the information and put it in the description below so you can reach out to Elana. And, if you're just looking for help to get your trucking company going, she can help you there. If you've got a spouse who want to do the dispatching, and I've seen that a lot. People say, well, my wife or my husband is going to be dispatching the trucks. And, the last thing I do want to touch on, is it hard for these owners to find drivers for their truck?
Oh yes. Oh
Yeah,
yes.
thought
Oh
so.
yes. Yeah. It is, people say it's a driver shortage. I don't know if it's a driver shortage, but you have to think about when you're a new trucking company and you're going against your Costco's, your Cisco, big, large companies, and guys, they can go over there and be able to get benefits, be able to maybe come home every night, all those type of things. As a large trucking company or a small trucking company getting in, you can't do all that. You know what I'm saying? And don't try to, So the thing is, when you do find a driver, take good care of them. Give them bonuses. Give them time home. Just out of the blue, send them $50. Tell them to go get something to eat. Just take good care of them. Don't run them raggedy. Make sure give them good miles. Give them good money, driver retention. You'll be surprised. They'll spread the word. They'll tell, their friends or whatever, they're working for this, working for that. But yeah, it's definitely hard to get drivers right now. But it's always been hard to get drivers. Like it's either you got a whole load of drivers and no trucks, or you got no trucks and a whole load of drivers. So
Yeah. Listen, I couldn't have said it better myself. Elana, I always close like this. I tell people this: tough times don't last forever. Tough people always do. Money doesn't come with instructions. So you got to be smart in terms of your decision-making process. Have a plan, be disciplined and patient, and you'll be okay. That's my word. What do you think?
I think that's beautiful. I want to say that Mr. Kenny is a beautiful person. I did train him a couple years ago or so, and from there we connected. And that's what's great about this industry and keeping relationships and things like that. And I've always been intrigued with his media, his communication, and his knowledge and his wisdom about things I don't know about. And I'm Facebook friends with him, and you and your wife are the cutest couple.
Thank
And
you.
so I just want to say thank you for this opportunity, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate the things we've been talking about doing together and moving together. And I just appreciate it. So thank you. And I definitely agree with your quote.
Y'all, this is family right here. This is family. And I knew it the first time we started talking. I said it's family. And it's funny, my wife would say, you must be talking to Elana again. Until I said hi. I'm always talking about Elana. And when it's something I don't know, I'll call Elana. I say, listen, I have a question. And she doesn't hesitate. She'll say, Mr. Kenny, no, you don't need to do that. Here's what you need to do. Why you do that, Kenny? No, remember you spoke. And I love it. I love it because, you know, we need that. You're as good as your team. And if you got good people to bounce off of, you'll be okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. So get ready. You're going to have some calls and emails and all of that. And so take care of them.
Awesome. I definitely will. Thank you. I appreciate everyone who listened. Thank you.
All right, guys. We'll talk soon.